Dom bandinha bocham estica Pampu de braçanha titi Escanha brag não tem manos Não tem folga na ser carteira Dom bandinha bocham estica Pampu de braçanha titi Sabi
Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Kizomba. You, the dancers, are invited to take part in this live show. Your questions and comments help make the show what it is. Tonight we're talking about the role of the organiser, part 2. So let's talk Kizomba. So tonight, there are 3 of us. You're lucky you have us 3 tonight. My name's Andrea. I'm a dancer, a teacher, mostly and mainly a dancer. And that is my passion, to dance. Teaching dance is something I also love to do. I've been dancing since 2007. Started Kizomba I found Kizomba at El Grande when it used to be at the Coliseum in Vauxhall. I turned left instead of turning right when I came out of the Louvre, and there was Kizomba right in front of me. So I'd like to introduce to the panel, we've got Emma. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Emma. I'm Emma. I hope you've all had a lovely fortnight. It's been a fortnight since we've seen you, and I hope everybody's well. I've been dancing Kizomba for 13 years now, I think. I didn't start off in salsa or bachata. I'm a kibonzera through and through. And it's a big passion of mine. And I'm very, very flattered to be here to talk about Kizomba, the do's and the don'ts and the wills and the won'ts. So I hope you enjoy this evening, and I hope you'll join in as well. Please join in.
Yes, please join in. All our links are in the event and on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So yes, please join us. And we're also joined by Gabby, who I've known for quite a long time from the South Coast.
Yes, indeed. My name is Gabby. I've been dancing Kizomba for the last 7 years. Before that, I started with salsa. Along Kizomba, I've been dancing also bachata. So dancing is a big passion of mine. And I will probably carry on and try also doing promotion for events down in the southeast, let's say. I started dancing Kizomba in Brighton, where we thought that actually Kizomba, or well, Tarascina was the only Kizomba that exists. So Ghetto Zouk. So that's how I started. So I had no recognition of Semba. And it's funny because then as soon as you start listening to the music, your music taste changes as well. And I'm looking forward to talk to you tonight about the role of the organizer.
Thanks, Gabby, and thanks, Emma, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. So yes, we met down in Brighton Hove area, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And that was
a few years ago, I think back in 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yes, and it was when Kizomba was new. The organisers, some organisers, not necessarily all organisers, jumped on a bit of a bandwagon. And I remember in the early days, Kizomba was always tagged on to something. It was never just, there were very few pure Kizomba nights outside of London. It was always tagged on to a salsa event, and it was one Kizomba to 5, salsa dance music, and half a dozen bachata songs, and you'd get one kizomba, and everybody would race for that one person who could
Dance, yeah.
dance kizomba. Poor chaps. Or lucky chaps, I don't know. So yeah, so that was my introduction to kizomba outside of London, and then I started to meet different teachers from around, the country, and then I'd head off to Birmingham or wherever it was to join a night, and then obviously I discovered London, and that's been my kizomba home for goodness knows how long now. Emma, what about you?
I had a hobby before this. Not that kizomba's a hobby. Kizomba's dancing is a big part of my life now. But I had like a summer hobby, and a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, you need to try dancing. There's a place in St Albans." And I thought, "Oh, okay, I'll give it a go for the only for the winter, only for the winter." 13 years later, the other hobby went out the window, and yeah, I did a taster class, a salsa class, and I did a bachata class, and then somebody said to me, "Oh, the next class is kizomba," and I said, "What's that? Sounds like a vegetable, like zucchini or something." And they put me into this room, and the music, I instantly got goosebumps. And I thought, and I loved it. So I did that class, and then I went into the main salsa room for the social, and a lady came up to me. She said, "Are you single?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, you need to be in there." And she literally pushed me into this kizomba room. And I don't think I'm still single, but I don't feel like I've ever left the kizomba room since. In all them years, I couldn't. Salsa sorry, respectfully, I know people love salsa, but I just can't feel the music. It doesn't itch that scratch that kizomba does.
No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
I walked into that room in the kizomba room at the Coliseum in El Grande, and I was like, I've come home.
Yeah,
It was something that I'd been searching for a long time with dance, and I didn't know that that's what I was looking for until
yeah,
I got in the room, and I
yeah.
couldn't come out again.
I have to say the single part of it now. I- I'd like to. I can't remember for the life of me who that lady is, but I'd like to have a little word with her now, because I would never do that to any new ladies now. I would never say, "Oh, if you're single, go and do this," because that's really not the right attitude for kizomba, because it's such a family dance. I mean, my daughter was 9 when I took her. I used to take her dancing, and she's nearly 21 now. And I would never take a 9-year-old to a place that wasn't. I mean, she didn't do so much kizomba. It was more salsa. But when she hit 18, whew, I haven't seen her since.
So, thinking about that, when we think of kizomba in, let's say, outside of Africa, because there is a difference to how it's danced in, say, I can only speak of my experience of Angola, where the events are during the day. Some of the events are during the day, some are obviously in the evening. But at the sort of the daytime events are, I would say, more family orientated, and they're mainly sort of older couples, although there are younger couples there as well. What makes you think this is a good place to go to? This is a place that I'd like to spend my time.
Who wants to? Gabby, can you go
Debbie?
first?
Yes, it's the fact that you have to kind of create a connection. Either you create it or your partner create it. And then from that connection, because of the way the dance is, then you have to follow. So there is a specific rule that, or you have to lead, depending on what's your role. Then then the magic happen. It's not like when you go dancing sometimes, like if you dance salsa or bachata, you have to know a specific routine. So you have to know some specific steps. I do believe that with a few lessons, if you just can be light on your feet you can be capable to dance kizomba if you're flexible enough. So it's the fact that you can dance if you're quite flexible, if you create a connection. So it's sort of an open dance in a way. So
But
that's what I
we're
like.
thinking of the role of the organizer here. So we're thinking
Yeah.
about how parties are organized. What would make you go to one event rather than another?
Yeah. For me, atmosphere is a big factor. So if I go to the event, and even if the music is not exactly my taste, but the music is kind of mixed well, and there is a good level of light. It's also about the level of light in the room. That
You
could
mean
make
light
it,
from above, or?
yeah, light from above. It could make it safer or not, depending also, depending on the number of people. Um, if there is quite a relaxed atmosphere, if the organizer like goes around and makes sure that people are comfortable and are dancing, and I think that that's quite important as well. So for me, is the atmosphere that is created by many different other factors.
And Emma, what would make you? What makes you go to a specific event?
Well, there's quite before I say anything about any of the events, can I just thank all the organisers and promoters for what they do, because I can't imagine the work that's involved with everything, organising it all. It's so much pressure, because we have basically a kizomba party is like a really fancy house party. So there's never any rules and regulations. There's no professionals. So it's down to this one person to get everything right. One of the big thing for me is, I know it's that parking. If I go to an event, say for example, if I go to South London, I'm on my own. I always go to events on my own. I want to be safe leaving this event. I don't want to have to be walking around lots of dark alleys to get back to my car. But again, organisers can't do anything about the parking. A clean floor. Come on. A
Oh
clean
yeah,
floor. I pay good money for my shoes. And also I want
they're
my
very
knee.
nice shoes, Emma.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you to say that. But my knees as well. I want to keep my knees in the kind of shape they are for the next 40 years at least. So if I have a bad floor, I've been to a couple of events and I won't go back there because either the floor's so sticky or it's a concrete floor. Again, but I do know of a promoter that used to bring his own floor. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That was great, because I wouldn't have gone back to that event because the next day I was in so much pain with my knees. And there's so many different aspects to a good night. It's if there's enough fans, air conditioning, if there's seats for us to sit on when we're not dancing, when we're waiting for a dance or we're having a break. And there's a lot of aspects to it. DJs, if we got good DJs coming in, too many DJs, which again can unsettle the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of aspects, but I think primarily I like a promoter to be present. So if I have any issues, I'll be able to approach them. If it's too hot, say, listen, can you put the fans on, please? Or can you get more bar staff so we can get our rum a little bit quicker? Because I'm missing all the good tracks. Is there somewhere to put your coat? Do you have to put your coat in? Are you charging for the cloakroom? There's a lot of stuff that we need to cover tonight.
Yeah, no, and I've run events, salsa
Mm.
events down here in Bognor. I used to run a Cuban salsa event, and so it is difficult picking a venue.
Mm.
First off, is one of the I would say one of the most difficult things, because you need to consider, can people get to the venue? Is it in a place of high traffic? Is it somewhere that people are willing to go to? Because some people, and it's always a joke in London that people from the north will stay in North London and people from South London stay in South London. I drive 2 hours to get to my Kizumba nights because it's a long way and it's a big commitment, but I'm willing to make that. So yes, when you're choosing a venue, you look at the floor. Is the floor suitable? I look at the floor anyway because I'm the same as you. I don't want my knees to be giving in or anything, you know, or anybody to ruin their shoes on a scratchy floor. So is the floor good? And if you get a good venue, you're really lucky. Sometimes you have to make do with a so-so venue till you can find a better venue, but venues are becoming harder, I think, to find suitable venues. I know some people look at purchasing their own place, renting it, renovating it, and that's fine as well if you can do that. But yeah, it's organising an event as well. Then you have to organise your staff. Who are your staff? You know, are people coming to work for you that you can trust and you know are going to, you know, help you and support you with the nights? There's a lot of managerial skills in that. So, Gabby, what about you? Would you avoid a venue for a particular reason?
No, not if it's not like if it's like far from where I live, or if I really like the event and the atmosphere, I will drive the extra miles. I will try to get there somehow. I think well, in some we had some instances like where sometimes people are not happy about the level of light. If it's too dark, they don't feel like it's safe if there are too many people. So maybe that's something that could potentially make me feel claustrophobic. But then on the other hand, it's quite nice when there are quite a lot of people and you can dance with a lot of leaders, different leaders.
Yeah.
So.
I just want to do a special shout out to Super Dixon. He's not here tonight, and he sends his apologies, and Winston. But Super Dixon has been amazing today because obviously I'm doing this on my own, and he has been checking in all day, make sure I'm all right with this, make sure I kind of know what I'm doing, and he's posting in all the groups and everything because it's very difficult to organize this and do all the behind the scenes stuff at the same time. So normally we have another person who's also not here who does the answer the questions, and I do all like the posting and sharing and stuff while he's asking the questions, but it's just me today. So a super shout out to Super Dixon, who's been amazing today, really supportive. I just want people to know he's been really supportive today.
Thank you, Dixon, and thank you, Andrea, for.
Yes, thank you.
No, not at all. I really believe in this show and being able to bring the voices of people who maybe don't have a voice on at a night out to be able to say, actually, this is what I prefer doing. This is where I prefer to go, and this is why I prefer to go to a particular event. So we were thinking when we were chatting just before the show about what we felt were the role of the organizer. First and foremost, like I said, is finding a venue. I agree with you about the air conditioning. The summer months are coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be melting just when I'm sitting on a stool waiting to dance or taking a break, like you said. What's a must-have for you at a venue? If we could have a wish list, what would it be?
Oh, first and foremost, it has to be seats. I was at an event not too long ago, and they had huge fans, massive, huge fans, because it's usually so hot there. But there wasn't a single seat to sit on. So I stood up, and the ratio was off as per usual. I stood up for so long. In the end, I had to leave because I was. It was just hurting too much, and also these fans were so big. I'd spent like 3 days doing my hair. As I walked past the fan, it come round, stuck to my face, and dress was going this way, hair was going that way. So definitely, seatings are really a big thing for me, to have somewhere to sit. And
I
for
mean,
all the ladies, because it's not fair. You see all the ladies waiting.
well, the men as well. There are men who like to sit down, but I think some organisers sort of thought around that is that if people are standing up, they're more likely to dance.
Yeah, that wasn't happening at this event. I think there was 3 men and 685 women,
Oh, the normal ratio then.
and 19 fans. So
Yeah.
the ratio was completely off anyway. So yeah, definitely seats and security. I like to see security about a little bit. I've noticed at an event I was at. I never know whether I should say names or not, but I'm not going
No,
to say it. No.
don't
Well, I
need
was.
to.
Oh no, it's a good thing. I was at an event a little while ago, and usually security's out at the front door. Now this event's it's a big venue, a big venue. So if there was a kerfuffle in the main room down by the bar, there is no way security would be able to get over there. But it just so happened there was a bit of kerfuffle, only a small bit of kerfuffle. And the following event, there was security in the room, which was brilliant. It was really, really nice to see, because we do have every now and again, we will have a little bit of an issue, and it would be nice to be able to approach somebody if there was a problem quite nearby and not have to get all the way through the crowd, out through the front door, and to find security. I think at the big events anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that most of the events I go to, the security do a walkthrough, and it doesn't take much for somebody to feel offended or want a safe face or something for it to especially towards the end of the night when people have been drinking and that sort of thing. But you, Gabby, what's a must-have at a venue that you go to?
For me, it's space. I need to have enough space to dance, especially if you dance like Simba. I think it's quite important that you have enough space around you, so that you can be free to dance and you don't have to stop the leader in order not to hit other people. So again, it's also about safety. And another thing for me is the light. I'm quite peculiar with that. It doesn't have to be too dark. It doesn't have to be too bright. Sometimes that can put me off a little bit if it's too bright, and it kind of doesn't create that atmosphere. But again, it's a very personal
But
opinion.
Gabby, is that because, can I just ask, is it that you don't like it too light or you don't like it too dark?
I don't like it too bright. Because I think that it kind of ruined the atmosphere
Yep.
slightly. I feel, but it's just me. I feel
Yeah,
a bit more confident
yeah.
in dancing if it's a bit darker. But it
Okay.
doesn't have to be too dark, because I do believe that that it's a bit unsafe when when it's a bit too dark.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Um,
Can I just say I'm sorry you have to feel like that?
Yeah, no, but unsafe in a sense of I feel like hitting other people. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
about, yeah, no, I just want to
Not that.
specify. No, 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 not in
We'll
the
come
Not
to
about
that a
reason.
bit
feeling
later
vulnerable.
on.
It's nothing
Okay.
to do, no, it's nothing to do and feeling unsafe dancing with other people. It's mainly because you feel like you're hitting other people while you're
Okay.
dancing, and it is, you can't really see very well. That's
Okay.
all.
But is that down to people not watching where they're going?
Yeah, sometimes you get that
Yeah,
as well, even
there are
if it's
certain
there is
people.
enough light.
There are certain people that I will always dance next to because I know they dance the kizomba that I know, which is a circular dance, and you don't bump into anybody. But then you get some random person come here and across. I was watching a guy last week, and he was going from one side of the room to the other, and not watching the safety of others. But again, is that the responsibility of the organizer or the individual, or maybe
No, it's the responsibility of the teacher.
I was just going to say, is
Yeah.
it the responsibility of the teacher to be teaching that in the lesson and saying, this is a circular dance, be mindful. I know that there is one teacher who I love dearly, and her favourite saying was abort mission. Whenever I went to her lessons in Nomads in Old Street back in the day, that was her go-to phrase, abort mission. And it seems that people aren't able to get that concept that it's a dance. We don't have to go from beginning to end. If you have to change your lead for a minute, or just don't perform those steps that you want to, you can do it later. There's another part of the song that you can use. Is that that's okay. It doesn't have to be that you're doing a set routine. As you said, that's the beauty of kizomba, is that you can change it midway through the dance and think, okay, well, there's not enough room to do a huge, great big steps. Please don't ever do big steps.
Yeah.
You can just sort of change it up and stuff. So, I mean, one of the things we are talking about, and we've mentioned it several times, is safety. Safety of when we park. Obviously, the organizer can't be responsible for all of that because they're inside the venue, and they can give you the, they can scout out the local area and say that this is a good road to park in, there's parking here, well-lit areas are here, there and everywhere. But is it our responsibility as guests of said organizer to make sure we arrive safely and leave safely?
Well, I go to an event sometimes up in in Liverpool Street, and that's in the congestion zone area for me. So rather than me having to pay another £22 on top of my ticket price, the event organizer, who is a very good organizer, he told me roads around that area, that when I drive into that area, that it's yellow lines, it's free parking. He's told me them roads. It's my responsibility to get up there before congestion, and it's my responsibility to find a parking space. But I appreciated him telling me them roads anyway, and I shared that love with other people. When other people have said to me, "Oh, I know you drive up there. Where do you park?" So I've shared that on. I think it's very good for a organizer to share the information. For example, I'm going to Gran Canaria this weekend, and the event organizer has a WhatsApp group chat, and they've even put the number of the bus that can pick us up outside the airport to go to the hotel. It's number 66 for whoever's going. Which is brilliant for me because there's no Uber and no Bolt, so you can't get a
Oh, really?
yeah, so that was really handy for me. I didn't ask for this information. She just volunteered it. It's the same as what time the meals are or what time the restaurants are open. You just give that information once, and then it's out there, and people tend to share that love on. So communication, I think, is another great thing. But that's for like a big weekend event, not for a weekly event that we go to all the time. So it just all varies.
So if we're thinking of what we look for, what is it that is a definite no if you're going to an event? So back in the day when I started, I wouldn't go to an event that advertised using scantily clad ladies, because I didn't want to be at an event that promoted that type of atmosphere.
Where was you going?
Way back when
Is it still running?
No, it's not running. But I think the pandemic had a lot to do with a lot of the events that I went to. But that was how people saw kizomba. I remember when salsa started to sort of, when I first started doing that, a lot of those events were promoted using scantily clad women and that sort of thing. But what puts you off going to an event? What can organisers change? What would we hope they change?
Gabby, you go. What do you think?
For me, it's about it's about creating the atmosphere, like trying to be a bit more friendly. So if I go into a place and I feel a bit like out of place, not necessarily because of anyone, but maybe if I don't know anyone, then the organizer will be the only person that I actually know. So I think it's mainly trying to be, being friendly and have a good communication with the organizer. That's the
So you
first
would,
thing.
so you would want the organizer to come up to you and
Uh,
say, "Hi, Gabby, how are you?
yes,
Thanks for
just try to
coming."
make sure. I know it sounds very demanding, but
It's it's
yeah, or
it's a very Palop thing
yeah,
for
but
the
it's it.
organizer of a Palop event to try and greet, or to have a crew of people. And some
Yes,
places you go to, yes, there is a crew of people, but you wouldn't know that there was a crew of people who were meant to be supporting the organizer to run the event. They see it as their night. Oh, where did Gabby
Oh,
go?
oh no.
They it's you, me kid. So unless you knew those people. So I do understand what Gabby says. It's really difficult
Mm.
to feel that you're part of the event. I know there are some people will say quite often, I don't go to that event because I feel that it's very cliquey,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's always difficult. Now, how would an organizer change that?
Oh, I don't. You can't change it. It's people, isn't it? I mean, we've all done it. I mean, we all do it without even realizing. We've all got our little comfortable space, especially as girls. As I said, going on your own. So I would turn up at our weekly event on a Friday, and I will
Yeah,
go straight to my little spot, and
yeah,
all the other ladies will go straight to their little spots. And that's what we do. I've always done it. That's where I feel confident, because if I turn up to an event that I've never been to before and I haven't got my little spot, I will be wandering around trying to find a comfortable place, because you have that thing at some events, by the DJs you have lots of the regulars, and you have different, like the hierarchy, should I say? I shouldn't even say that, really, the hierarchy. And I would feel out of my place to go to that area. So yeah, but your question was more, where wouldn't you go to, wasn't it? Like, wouldn't,
what
yeah.
puts you off going?
Nothing. Do you know what? Nothing. I'll give anything a go. I really will. As long as there's not semi-clad women. But I think that was a little bit of that was back in the day. You used to see a lot of, even the promotional videos that you see, half of the women have little hot pants on, but I know that would just be like a poster or a flyer. So I would hope to goodness that there wouldn't be too many ladies dressed like that, because I would be right out of place, 100%.
Oh, absolutely, I would be. Welcome back,
Imagine.
ah,
Gabby.
sorry, I don't know what happened there. Just lost you.
Yeah, I'd be very intimidated. But there's not
Yeah.
anywhere that I wouldn't, that I would now, because I've been doing it for quite a while, I wouldn't be intimidated or feel uncomfortable going to anywhere, even like a Palop event, because I would hope that I would know a few people, and even if I didn't know anyone, I will make friends very quickly, because
Yeah,
that's all a
you're a
stranger is,
bubbly
isn't it?
person.
Yeah.
That's I'm a bit more
Well,
reserved than
I'd
you, I
say
think.
annoying, yeah. I would
You're not annoying
overcompensate
at
for my
all.
nerves. I would just talk a lot, and I would dance, and I'd just be there to dance, and I would find the confidence, because we have a very short life. I would find the confidence to ask somebody to dance. And you find when people see you dancing, then yeah, and it will go on from there. But there's not an event that I wouldn't go to, I don't think.
No.
And that's,
So
oh, actually saying that, yeah, there is a certain place that I wouldn't go, that I don't feel comfortable at. I don't feel supported by the promoter. I've had far too many hiccups there, and I won't go there. But that's my personal preference
yeah,
and
no,
my experiences. Other people, I'm sure, love it there,
Mhm.
but not for me.
yes. No, and we're all free to make our own choices. But yeah, if I don't feel safe at a venue. I wouldn't go. And yeah.
Unless you was with people that, if I went there to this certain place with people I know very well,
yeah,
not a problem. But other places I'll quite happily go to on my own. But this place, I will not go there on my own. End
no.
of.
And we have had discussions, and I do absolutely understand that if you go somewhere and you feel harassed, or you feel that maybe the organizer is not taking your safety seriously, then yes, I think I would probably not want to give that venue my money. And we have to protect ourselves, and it's a sad part of life that women are taught how to protect themselves, and it's not about the men being told to not behave like that.
It's not even about the money, you know, Andrea. I just wouldn't. I've just, you know, you get that little voice in your head. I mean, I've been there a few times, and now I think, why am I doing it? Because I don't feel comfortable. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. So I just don't. Yeah, but so, and that's not down to, I don't even know what that's down to, actually. I don't know what it's down to. I wish I could
Trust
put my
your
finger
gut.
on it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
say
it.
anything else. I would say trust your gut.
Instinct.
That's my instinct. Our bodies know these things before we even can verbalize them. So yeah. So it's trying to stay on the more positive side of dancing. Obviously, I've been going to one particular venue for a very long time now, and because the organizer is always really polite. Someone is trying to take photos of me when I don't like it. I don't mind the beginning of the evening, but come the end of the night when my hair's all and you're all a bit disheveled. No, I don't want to take photographs. People
You
take
didn't look dishevelled. You just looked windswept and interesting.
That's a really lovely way of putting it, Emma. But yes, he was, yeah. But that I go to that venue because that particular organizer respects me. And he's always very nice, and he's always, checking up, and he makes sure that everybody's okay. And he's, a genuinely nice person. There are other places where you go and you think, well, where was the organizer? I've not seen them all night. They've done their bit, taught maybe their lesson, and then they disappear off for the rest of the night to do whatever, leaving the place unorganized, and that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. This is your night. You've known all week that you've got this event on this night. Where have you gone? Why have you not organized it so that you are there in the event, watching not just my safety but everybody else's safety?
And also make sure that the night runs smoothly as well. When you have DJs, there could be an issue with equipment, or you just don't know. You can't leave that down to other people to deal with. That's again it's a big response. That's what I said to you. It's a big responsibility for organisers.
It's a huge responsibility, and it's something maybe that people who attend the event don't necessarily realise, that you've got to have all that equipment ready, because some venues don't have equipment, so somebody's got to bring the equipment, someone's got to make sure it's all set up, and the organizer needs to know all of that. If you've got a really good DJ who has all of their own equipment and is able to set up, they still got to connect to the venue with their leads and all of that stuff. And I can't even pretend that I know what I'm talking about, because I'm not a DJ.
I've spoken to, there's one DJ in particular, and I know him pretty well, and do you know what? God bless him as well. He turns up with his van full up with everything. Just he sets everything up, and he's really particular about how everything has to be, because he's very passionate about his music and keeping everyone happy and creating an atmosphere, because basically it all comes from the music and the DJs. Truly. And then he works all night really, really hard till silly o'clock in the morning, then has to pack it all away and then drive all the way home, which is a long way away, to then start his work 7 o'clock the next morning. It's a massive, but they kind of get on with that. I never see the organizer or the promoter or whatever dealing with any of that stuff. The DJs have to deal with that.
Yeah, and if it's their personal equipment, I probably wouldn't want anybody touching my
Definitely
what makes my money. They rely on that equipment, don't they? So they know it best and how to
Well, the
save
promoters,
again.
that's like, I don't know, that's just not their job, is it, really?
No. So Gabby, you're sort of more central. I'm right down on the coast. You've moved inland a little bit. Are there organised events where you are?
I haven't been going like nearby, so I've been like still traveling to London. So I've been to events more to London, even to North London, not just South London recently.
Yeah.
So different type of events. And I noticed that even if if the event is also a different size of event, things are kind of managed differently. And also, if it's, for example, just a Kizumba event, then it's organized in a certain way. It's completely different compared to a salsa, bachata, and
In
Kizumba
what
event.
way is it different?
When it's a salsa, bachata, and Kizumba, is like the focus is a bit less on Kizumba. That's not like it's not a great night, because there needs to be a great music, great atmosphere, friendly people. Sorry if I keep repeating this. I can be unfriendly myself sometimes, but yeah, it's like it's
Not.
quite important. That's to have like that kind of atmosphere. But it is a little bit different when you have different type of music. You got like different type of vibes, uh, different type of vibes there. And for me, vibe
Okay.
is quite important.
So when we talk about vibe, do we feel that sometimes the vibe is very much about those social media posts? Are they created so that the organizer, the promoter, can post pictures that may not actually truly reflect the vibe of the room? So just because you've got 300 people standing on the dance floor doesn't mean that everybody's enjoying the night. So is there a role that social media plays that organisers are utilising to give an impression of their event that's maybe not the true impression of their, or the reality of their night, is maybe what I'm trying to say. Like when you see a picture and you think, wow, that's really packed, that looks great. And then you go to the event and you think, was that what I was watching? Is that what I saw? Because they've, I wouldn't say
Portrayed it as being,
manufactured a different type of night, a different type of
you know,
event.
I've seen that. I've seen videos of myself dancing at a venue, and I know I haven't been there for 2 years. And I see it advertising a couple of weeks ago, and it must have been on a busier night. But you don't see that. You don't see that very often. You usually find that I find that most of the events that we go to, they are true to their word. Obviously, you're going to get the odd one that really bigs it up. There was one a few years ago actually, and it was going to be dancing in a park somewhere on the steps of St Paul's or something. And I turned up, and there was the teacher. That was it. Nobody else was there.
Oops.
Yeah, it was an absolute. It was a car crash. There was, I don't know what happened, but it just didn't go ahead. But don't you find these things? It's like the monthly event that we all go to, that we don't all go to, but a lot of us go to, and we really enjoy it. And it's a big. I don't know what makes that night so special. I don't. I wish I could put my finger on it. It's nice that there's lots of advertising about they have a theme for each month, but I don't know what makes it. It seems to all go on in the background, and we don't notice any of it. But it's always a good night. But maybe it's because we go there in a positive mindset to have a good night. We all have a good night. I've not had a bad night there.
I'm not sure which event you're talking about, but yes.
I think I
Oh,
know
I know the one you mean. Yes. So I think that has a very charismatic organizer.
Yes, yeah.
Who is a showman.
Yeah.
And I think you
I've
need
seen him.
them. He has always, that's how I've known him a very, very long time, way back, you know, way back. And he's always been very charismatic, and he's the sort of person. There's a lot of people who want to know organizers. I call it fame by association. But he's not. He is that person that everybody kind of wants to know, wants to be associated with. And there are some people around who have maybe not reached that level of, and is it infamy? And I didn't, that's a Freudian slip, but they haven't reached that level of fame. So they will associate with those people to try and glean some of that fame, so it rubs off on them. And but that particular person is very charismatic.
Yeah,
But then you have
he's
other
at the party as well. You see him running around and putting talcum powder on the floor, and you're right, like saying hello to everyone. He's like it's his house.
And that's how I feel about the Friday event, is that I'm that organizer as well is always running around checking on things, making sure there's a birthday cake. I can't eat it because I'm gluten-free, but I watch everybody else hovering,
It's
waiting
lovely.
for that birthday cake. Yeah, and they are lovely cakes. I'm just assuming, because obviously I say I can't eat them. But yeah, it's when you see them, and I would say working with purpose. Rather, you can get people who are running around and doing absolutely nothing, and then you get other people who are working with purpose, and I think that both those two people do.
I'll tell you another person who's really good, an event organizer, and I've completely forgotten to even mention it, and I should do. This particular guy is where I first started dancing. Every Valentine's Day, all the ladies will get a red rose. Every Christmas Eve, all the ladies will get a tangerine and a little gift. They have a lovely little coffee tea area. Not only do you get free tea, coffee, lemon tea, freshly sliced ginger, cake, biscuits. You have a seating area. You can sit and talk. Okay, his entrance fee is slightly more. You have, not only does he have parking, there's two car parks. If the big car park's full and there's another car park, he puts on a minibus to pick up people from that car park to bring you to the front door. He has always been a fantastic organizer. Do you know what I'm talking about, Gabby?
Maybe.
So, and he's very friendly. When it was Halloween, it was always fancy dress. You turn up, he'd have his big wings lit up with lights that flash. And it was New Year's Eve, Christmas, was always really, really good. He was a great organizer. All the classes run on time. Teachers always turned up. It was really, really very well organized. And I think he's underrated, if that's the right word. Nobody really mentions that place, but SBK, and I started there and I turned out all right.
I don't know that, but then I don't live in London, so traveling to events is always, I have to be a bit mindful, because obviously I've got work and stuff early in the morning.
No,
So
they're
yeah,
really nice people as well. They made you feel part of the family. When my daughter, I mean, they held a huge charity event for my daughter once. Unbeknown to me, they just did it and on a Sunday, and it was really, really amazing what they did. It gave me my footings for the dance family.
oh, that's good. I just want to say a good evening to oh, that didn't work. Try this one. So Christoph has joined. Christoph Tam is listening on Facebook.
Oh, Christoph.
And there is also Clarissa 71. It's on YouTube. And Lara Hudson has put a big comment here about how, events she would go to. I travel on my own to most social events because I don't have the luxury of planning and organising group travel in advance. Key thing that makes a positive difference is the host comes over at some point in the evening to say hello. This is difficult if you arrive when it's busy, so arriving earlier helps. Ticket point, friendly, welcoming for central city venues, finding parking within the maximum 10-minute walk back to your car. Somewhere to put your coat so you can wrap up well, makes me feel safe when I leave. And those sorts of things are all important. Some places you can leave your your coat on your chair and that sort of thing. But it can be a little bit difficult. But we're going to go to a break now because it's 9 o'clock. And when we come back, we're going to talk about more safety on the dance floor and what we would like organisers to be mindful of when they're putting on events. So we're going to play some music, have a bit of a breather, let you all get together and maybe think of the sort of things that you would like to maybe ask us, see how if we can answer you. All right. So see you in just a minute or so.
Pensei sair e ir pra bem longe de ti. Depois refleti, mudei de ideia. O nosso amor não é de vidro, amor. Não posso partir, desistir de nós. Eu cobrava coisas que no fundo já me davas. Eu fazia coisas que só te irritavam. Em dias normais eu já nem estaria aqui, mas eu joguei pra fora toda a minha valentia. Não saio dessa porta jamais. Me usa e me abusa com amor. Não saio dessa porta jamais. Lá fora não tem nada pra mim. Teu amor é tudo que eu quero ter. Sei que lá no fundo também me queres. Teu amor é tudo que eu quero ter. Sei que lá no fundo também me queres. Baby, não me canso de te amar. Tudo que eu quero é te amar. Meu amor é puro e é só teu, só teu, só teu.
All right, we all back again. Welcome back to Let's Talk Kizomba, and we're talking about the role of the organiser. Does the organiser lead by example? Do we think?
Yeah, definitely.
So in what way? I know what I think.
Yeah, well, you don't want to see the organiser on the dance floor drunk and throwing himself around and out in the car park or nothing like that, do you? You want them to be, and also, yeah, you don't want them to be untoward with ladies on the dance floor or anything like that. I think that's me though. I'm hungry. I'm angry.
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 Abby.
Yes. Yes, I think so as well, because most of the organizers they also dance with you. I noticed. If they notice that,
is that important?
yeah, if you're not dancing with anyone else, just to make you feel more comfortable. and more like you're part, you know, of the group, because you can feel a bit isolated if you're not dancing for a while. So they kind of make you feel comfortable. Yeah, I've always been quite happy at all the events with the organizer.
Okay, so yes, I think it's important that the organizer is socializing.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't have to dance with everybody, and on a busy night, that's just, you know, impossible, I imagine, to be able to do that. But yes, so when we, and this is, I would say to people who are watching, please be mindful that this could be triggering for some people. We might bring up a topic that you're not comfortable with. Please, you know, either, you know, contact any of the charities or any of the agencies out there. But we're talking about safety on the dance floor. Is that the role of the organizer, to make sure that the venue is a safe venue?
Definitely. I think a promoter has to be 100% approachable. I've had a situation years ago when my daughter was younger that a photograph was posted online of my daughter dancing, and this woman was very disrespectful about my daughter. She was in a very, very safe environment. I personally wouldn't go to an environment that's not safe, and I certainly wouldn't take my daughter there. And basically, we're there to dance. And I did ask for support from this promoter, and it was a female, and I wasn't supported at all. And I found that very, very unsettling. So I think it's really important that a promoter is approachable. And I understand it can be, like I said to you, it's basically a glorified house party. So sometimes it's out of people's hands. But I think as a promoter, you need to kind of check them things before you do decide to have an event, because you are going to have a lot of women there, and there is more than likely to be some issues. And we want to be able to approach somebody who has a very open mind and who will listen to what we have to say. I think whether anything could be done about it, I'm really not sure. That's another subject.
Yeah, and this is a subject that we'll be going into more in depth, sort of keeping the dance floor safe. But this is just, you know, talking about organizers and their roles. And we all know of incidents, or we've experienced incidents where we've been harassed on the dance floor, or we've not felt comfortable to go and report it because maybe of the reaction or the lack of concern shown by a promoter. What are your sort of thoughts, Gabby?
Yes, as a organizer and promoter, you, in a sense, have to own the event. So all sorts of things can happen, you know, bad things, good things. So you have to be able to manage them all, and being able to be talked to and be able to do something about it. If something happens, if something comes to you, you must call security and make sure that the incident is dealt with, if there is an incident or anything like that, because it's your event. So you plan it and you manage all the issues that may arise. So I do feel like it's the organizer job to do it. And
Duty of care.
sorry,
Yeah, duty of care.
duty of
Yes.
care, yes, and you have to
Whereas,
be approachable as well, because not everyone will feel like they want to talk about it. So you have to be open to kind of
yes.
and have an open eye as well, because I think sometimes people can see can see things before you can see them. So I think that is quite important, and they
I
can
think
offer help.
I think it's really difficult. I think one thing that you said, Emma, is that, and I knew when I was, running events, was that to me it was like inviting people to my home. So if I invite people to my home, I make sure that my home is safe for those people who are coming into my home. There's, there's a safe place to sit, there's a safe place to eat, to get drinks, everything to the best of my ability is safe. And Clarissa says, do you think the organisers should be trained in adult safeguarding, bullying, harassment awareness and prevent train? So I work in adult services, so I'm well aware of adult safeguarding, the prevent training, all of that sort of thing, but not everybody has access to that training. It is out there, you can get it and you can look for it. But I think, like an informal party at your home, dancing, salsa, whatever, has never been formalized. It's not a corporation, it's not an agency, it's run by individuals, and it's about should they be getting this training? Is it their responsibility to get it? I would imagine that the security at events has training, but do people who are running an event, inviting people into their home, responsible for knowing what an adult safeguarding is? What's the criteria for it? That sort of thing. Most of all, I think we all have a duty of care to ourselves, but also to maybe our friends who come. I think it's really difficult to make people take this training. I personally, because of the work that I do, I think it's really important that everybody is aware of what is a safeguarding. How do you report an issue, and how do you, most importantly, support the person who's reported that to you? How do you respond to them? Because that will then encourage people to report more. We all know from back in the day when women would report assaults, they would be like, well, what were you wearing? Were you drunk? Never what the main part is, why did that man do that? Who is he? Where is he? How can we deal with that person?
I think it's getting to that point now, Andrea. I mean, unfortunately, I think back years ago it probably was about, but for some reason now I'm hearing it more and more, which is it's a travesty. Whether women are speaking up more now, I don't know, and they're feeling a bit more confident. But I think, answering to Clarissa, I think it's getting to that point now. Because I know for a fact, if I was to go to an event and there was an organizer, like both scenarios, if there was an organizer that didn't support a lady and I'd heard about it and there was a problem, as sure as God makes little green apples, I'm not going there. But if there's another event and I've heard that the organizer is very supportive and listens, and then I will definitely be going to that event, 100%. So it's it's a shame that we haven't even covered toilets yet either. We need to cover toilets as well.
Or the state of toilets.
Just needs to be a little bit, yeah. But then that's again, what do you do?
You would hope that you could go to the event organizer and say, look, those toilets, or the establishment that you're at, they're responsible for the fixtures and fittings of that venue. They should be ensuring. I know that when I ran an event, I was always going in and checking, not the men's, I'd draw the line at that, but I would go in, check the ladies, make sure that there was, toilet roll, paper towels, if that's what was, at that venue. So there was always enough stuff there. And then I would be saying to the bar staff, I'm really sorry, there's no toilet paper. I should, as a patron, shouldn't have to go to find somebody to get toilet paper. Or having to be wading through goodness knows what to get to the toilet. That should all be dealt with before I even go in there. But going back to the role of the organizer, and we have Charles is here with us as well. I think he's on YouTube. He was asking what the theme is, so he says, "Okay, the theme of the."
Andrea, where are you going? You've gone all Dalek-y on us.
Oh, have I? Oh, I'm really sorry about that. That must be the internet. Must be
I have a
moving.
big sign. Oops. Connection. I panicked then. It would have been just me and you, Gabby.
I'd have come back. Don't worry. Am I better now?
You are better now. Yes.
Maybe there's something in the air. Maybe there's some organizer putting a bit of mojo on me because I'm talking about them. I don't know. But yeah, Gabby, what are your thoughts about the organizer being trained in sort of safeguarding? Just because there is safer dance spaces out there. They've got a website and everything. Should all venues and organizers sign up to their standard?
I think they should, because knowledge is power, and the more you know about it, and the better you can support other people. So yes, definitely they should do that. Because the training can only give you the tools to be better at it and be able to use your skills better. So yes, definitely. I think nowadays is quite important.
I think it's very important, and just for people who don't know what prevent is about radicalization, and we need to be mindful. It's not about preventing people committing assaults or stuff. Prevent is a particular branch of safeguarding around people being radicalized by certain people out there. So just to clarify that for people if they didn't know. So it's always difficult because what I might find as harassment, somebody else may not find as harassment. I may be able to deal with somebody who if say I'm dancing with a guy like I was the other week, and he got too close and too personal, and I just said thank you and left. I was very polite. I wasn't rude. If he'd continued to harass me, I'd have gone straight to security and said, this gentleman has is causing an issue, and I know that particular group of security guards would deal with him. But as it was, he hasn't come near me since. He looks at me and then walks away, because Palops don't like to be embarrassed in front of their mates, and if you walk off the dance floor in front of everybody, then yeah, they're not very happy. And what has Clarissa said?
Very interesting.
Yeah, she said, thank you. Appreciate your thoughts. Company currently being set up to offer CPD courses, SPK teaching, including those topics, which would be really useful for people, even if they just read the blurb, even if they just get a little bit. It's like when you learn CPR, you hope you never have to use it, but you've got the training there that if something happens, you can perform CPR on that person, keep them going till the ambulance service gets there. So I think that, yes, everybody should have this training if they're involved with any adults, because we don't know who's the vulnerable adults within our community, and there may be vulnerable people, and we have a duty. Everyone has a duty of care. Everyone has is responsible for safeguarding, and that's not just the organizer, that's the people in the event, the customers. Everybody is responsible for safeguarding and reporting something if they don't feel it's right.
All we need is people to be respectful, and then we won't have these issues. But we can't really go down that road. But Christopher, I'm just reading Christopher Tam's comment about organisers care too much about the bottom line. They're dismissive of harassment and bullying, etc. this is, again, we do see this sometimes. We see people that just want to get the money in and aren't really too bothered about how the night's going, as long as they get a big chunk of money in. I mean, I was at an event a little while ago and there was far too many people there, but it was a huge festival. And I'd heard about this organizer that they were very, very good at organizing and kept all the numbers even. But for this last event, it was just all in. And you kind of lost that personal side to it. You could feel it was about the money.
Yeah, no, I used to teach at a venue in South London, and one particular night, this man was very, very drunk. I mean, very drunk, and he was harassing me, and he was inappropriate. So I asked security. I went to security, straight to security, and I said, "Look, this guy's causing an issue, not just with me, but with other women." I then had all his friends and his associates come to me and say, "How dare you chuck him out? He's bringing in lots of money. He's bringing X amount of friends, blah, blah, blah." But as was pointed out to me at a later time, I think it was you, Emma, that yes, that man may have brought all those people, but all those women that were there who had been harassed by that man and their friends weren't ever going to come back again. So it doesn't make sense. It was that this man who was harassing and being really inappropriate should be allowed to stay because he's bringing money to the event. No.
And then you'll lose money in the long run. Like I said to you, I wouldn't go to an event. If you said to me, as women, and we do, like you said, duty of care, we all have duty of care. If I went to if I saw that Gabby was going to a certain event, I would be messaging saying, "Listen, Gabby, just be careful." And if I said this to Gabby, I would hope that she would take my word as gospel. And then I'm giving Gabby the choice of whether she will go there or not. But we will all share that information. These people forget this. We will share the information.
We do.
We look out for one another. You have to, because we just have to do it.
And we will say, if there's a gentleman that's been inappropriate with me and someone's saying to me, "Oh, I really want to dance with him," I would say, maybe choose someone else. This is what's happened to me, because we don't even need extra information. If I said to you, "Emma, don't dance with that guy," or you said to me, "Don't," I would just believe you. Whereas if you said that to a man, and I'm not casting all men in the same vein, and I'm not saying all men will do this, because I know that there was one particular man who, when something was mentioned, he said, "Show me who he is." And you knew that that man had our back. But so many men go, "Oh, well, he probably didn't mean it. Oh, it was just a joke. Oh, come on, it's just a dance." No, I'm sorry. If I wouldn't accept that behaviour on the tube, why would I accept it on the dance floor? That has always been my thing when I'm teaching, is I say to women who maybe aren't aware of when dancing steps into the inappropriateness. If you wouldn't accept that behaviour from when you're on the tube, if it would cause you on the tube to go, "Oh, excuse me," it's the same on the dance floor. If someone's getting too close to me and in my space and I don't feel comfortable with them, if they ever nibbled my ear or tried to kiss my cheek, as I know has happened to some people, I probably maybe that person wouldn't be standing. And I wouldn't be responsible for my actions, because my boundaries are very strong. I know the men that I trust when I go dancing, and I know the men I don't trust. I trust my gut, and if my gut's telling me stay clear, I will stay clear. And sometimes other people probably really like that person, and I'm like, I don't. I trust my gut. My gut tells me who I should stay away from.
So this is all, I mean, it's such a massive subject, isn't it? And like we were saying, from a promoter's point of view, we would like to be able to approach somebody and not feel uncomfortable in any aspect. If we're uncomfortable about anything, like you said, with not enough air conditioning or not enough seating or drinks being thrown on the floor. Not that there's much that really can be done about that either, but
I
it's
wish
just,
there was.
I know, but we just need a promoter just to be present, really, which, like I said at the beginning, they all do a great job already. They do a great job. It is a lot of hard work, what they do.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's a hard job, and it's not easy, and nobody's perfect, and I get that. But then you learn to delegate. You learn to delegate with it. You have a team, and you learn to delegate. Like you delegate the music to the DJ and say, that's your responsibility. You have the person on the door collecting the money. You trust them to collect the money and not to misappropriate funds. So you delegate that, but you need to be mindful that there are people who come out dancing who it's maybe they're one night out a week or one night out a month. They need to feel safe, but they need to feel that if something happens, that there's going to be a reaction. And banning somebody for a month, as this gentleman that I'm talking about was, and then he was allowed back in, to me, no, it's a lifetime ban. If you don't, in my house, my personal home, if I have set rules, I don't have rules, that's not the right thing, but I have boundaries. If you cross that boundary, you're never invited back to my house again. You don't come in because you disrespected my house, you disrespected me. I agree that it's the money thing, but I would rather not have the money than have somebody who is making my customers, my people feel unsafe being there. Once you're banned, you never come back again. I mean, this isn't a new thing. This has been going on for a very long time. And like I say, I've been dancing since 2007, 2008, and people who get banned don't come next week, and they come back again and then do the same behaviour. They've not learnt a consequence to their actions.
Yeah, sometimes it's probably not always followed through, is it? It's again, it's hard to keep on top of absolutely everything, but that bit in particular is, as far as I'm concerned, is the most important thing.
What's that? Feeling safe?
100%, yeah. 100%.
Yes, it's the same. I think you can delegate all the other work. You can delegate. You have people like by the door collecting the money and the DJ, and make sure that you have enough seat and everything else. But the one thing you need to make sure of is that people are feeling safe. It's very important. It's very, very important. And not everyone will just tell you straight away. We're all different. So sometimes it's difficult to catch this type of situations because not everyone speaks up.
And it's a
So
very difficult subject to broach, and I really understand that, having worked again in another previous job existence with that, and how difficult it is to support somebody. It's not something that you want to hear. Even in my day job now, I hear all sorts of things that I don't really want to hear, but I need to be able to support that person because they've disclosed to me whatever it was. But there are so many organisations out there that can support the organisers. If they don't feel comfortable dealing with that issue, there are so many organisations that they can signpost the person to. But it is the person that's disclosing to you. They want to be heard. And it's not about disproving what they've said. It is not about proving what they said. It is about hearing what they said. Because we also have to be mindful that there's a slight legal implication that if that person discloses too much to you, then any investigation going forward in the legal sense, if there was to be one, can be contaminated. And we have to be really mindful of that when I work with children, do children's safeguarding, we don't ask them questions. We're just present with them, because if they disclose too much, it can be the perpetrator can use that as an excuse. Oh well, they were influenced by the person. So it's not an easy topic, and I would say that it's great if you want to be able to support people, but just be present with them. If someone discloses something to you, you don't have to save the world. You don't have to save them. There are agencies out there that can do that. What somebody needs is for you to be with them and to hear them and to, it's not about asking questions. It's not about learning the nitty gritty of what actually went on. It's just about being with that person. So I'm getting quite serious there because it's something that I really feel strongly about, is about protecting men and women, because it happens to men as well. It's not just a one-sided thing. Men can feel harassed by women. Men can feel that women are being inappropriate in front of them. And it's just as difficult for men because they're meant to be the strong ones. They're meant to be the ones who can face the world, and they can't, all the time. We're all allowed to have a bad day. So I'm not saying this is just an issue for women. It is an issue for men and women. And we need to be supportive of each other if we want the community of Kizomba to continue.
Clarissa's come up with it. Have you seen Clarissa's comment on there?
That's
really interesting.
Go to Christoph first. One thing that's hard to do is enforcing a ban, because one promoter is going to ban an artist, DJ, dancer, because of a serious allegation. Other promoters will allow the person to attend their event. Totally get that might happen, but if I've said to you, you can't come to my event, you'd never come to my event again. What other people choose to do is up to them. But my responsibility is my event, and if I've said you can't come, you can't come. Nothing's going to allow you back. But if other people choose to do that, and I know that there was a lot of this a few years ago where there were events and people knew these were perpetrators going to events, I won't support them. I won't go to their events, because I know that person has proven allegations. This is always allegations until everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And then what's it, Clarissa? I've been to a Kizomba event where there is a lookout, someone, not organizer, watching safety on the dance floor. Made me feel much safer, not seen the same in salsa bachata events. Yes, when I worked at this venue in South London, I would watch, I do even now, watch ladies' faces. And if somebody's not looking particularly comfortable, I'll try and catch their eye and do it. You okay? And if they say, yeah, I'm fine, end of, because people are adults. But if someone's going, then I might sidle past. I might help.
I saw a it was on another Kizomba talk site. It's an American one actually, and there's actually a lady who wears a badge at the events saying that she's somebody that you could approach if there was an issue, which I thought was quite a good idea. It's not, I don't know if it's overly practical or not, and that lady would probably be very busy that night, but yeah, it was just it's quite strange how it's all coming up at the moment. It all seems to have raised its ugly head. It's a topic of very.
I think because it's an ongoing issue, and it always will be an issue. I think people have been incredibly brave and are sharing their stories. I don't think we need to hear people's nitty-gritty stories to know that this is what is happening out there, and this is what men and women, mainly women, face when they go dancing. We're told, put your keys between your fingers. We're told, right, we don't carry pepper spray in England, but we're told to watch how you're walking, to walk tall, to walk strong, to walk fast. What are the men told? Are they told to respect women? Are they told to, if no means no? Are they taught all of these things? Why is the responsibility on women, particularly, for us to protect ourselves. Why are men not being told? If a woman says no, don't, no is no. If a woman gets too close, if you get too close to a woman, don't get too close to her. Be respectful. Why is it always us who have to protect ourselves and justify ourselves? And I'm not a man hater. I have 3 grown-up boys. I have 5, well, I had 5 brothers. So no, I think caring men who have worked on themselves and worked on their issues are the most beautiful thing in the world. But there are a small minority of men and women, to be fair, who spoil it for the rest of us.
It's disrespect, isn't it?
Yeah, so Charles is saying, should organisers have the responsibility for vetting the people attending their events?
Charlie, they'll be very busy. Do you mean
I
as
think,
in artists or as in
yeah,
artists?
artists, yes. If you are bringing a DJ, if you are paying a teacher, if you're paying staff to work within your team, then yes, you need to be, whether you need to be doing a DBS check, I don't know, but you need to be vetting those people. But again, if people are thinking, oh, this teacher, all right, there's a few iffy stories about him, but he'll bring a crowd, let's bring him in. What are you prioritizing?
Yeah, it's a slippery slope to go down at the moment, isn't it? We've we need to do we really need to do a whole program about this.
When everybody's back and technical issues are worked out with other people, yes, that is what hopefully we will delve more into. I think we're trying to get people from the safer dance spaces on the show, but it wasn't convenient, and we really need to prepare it, because I don't want it to be turned into a slanging match for anybody, and I don't want anybody to be disclosing what they don't want to disclose, because once you put it on the internet, it's out there forever. And people, AI is a very scary place at the moment. Stuff that's coming on, you think, oh my goodness, is that real or not? And then you have to Google what's been said and check and make sure and think, So it needs to be done properly. And we need to have all those sort of, like I was saying, all those agencies that are out there that can support people. We need to get all their information together as well.
So Andrea, what do you expect from a promoter? What would you expect from a promoter?
What would I expect?
What do you like?
Basically, it's very similar to what you said. Somewhere to sit, because as a older person, anyway, I don't dance as much as I used to back when I was a little bit younger than I am now. So yeah, somewhere to sit, clean toilets are absolute must to have a clean toilet. Good music. I would like the event organizer to have done their research with the DJ. So I get that everybody has to start somewhere, and if I hadn't been given the chances to learn to teach at various events, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't have learned, being a teacher and taught wherever, all the places I've taught at. So everyone has to start somewhere, but make sure the DJ can play the music and can mix, because there's nothing worse than everybody on the dance floor stopping and going, what was that? Yeah. Where are we? What genre are we in? Because there's nothing worse than doing this. It should be a journey through the night, but not because you're going from one thing to another.
How'd it
go? So yeah, so that's probably one of the most important, because the music to me is the master. The music is the master of my dance, whether I'm leading or whether I'm following. So yeah, yeah, good music. Do your research with the DJs. Make sure they fit with what your vision of your night is. There's no point getting in a DJ that plays only ghetto zouk if your night is a kizomba night, because they need to be able to take me on that journey from ghetto zouk to compa to, you know, kizomba semba. But if they don't know how to mix semba, it can upset the flow. That's the main thing. And be a friendly person. Saying that, I had to learn to talk to people when they came to my events, because I'm really shy, and it's really difficult to go up to people you don't know, especially my event was mainly Paulops came to it, and I don't speak Portuguese, and to be able to say, but everybody was so lovely, and they just expect it, because to them you're hosting them at the event. And so you go up, you say, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for coming. And that's all I had to say. I didn't have to have a full-on conversation, but that was hard when I started. So I appreciate it when somebody comes along and says, hi, thank you for coming to my night. That's just polite. I think.
There's a host in Lisbon, and this lady, she's unbelievable, very non-assuming, sits in the corner with her chairs. If you don't go over and greet her in her home, you can feel the atmosphere change. You're like, oof, you don't not do it, and instantly you see it. It's beautiful to see, because all the people that turn up to that event, that's obviously how she gets her money. Andrea's gone again. Panic. Everybody goes over to greet this lady, and and you do feel so safe, and you have to, like, you hire a little table, and that's your table to sit at. I remember you're back, thank God. I just kept it going while you was gone. Right. I was going into a bit of a panic then. But this lady, like, I remember somebody went and sat at my table, and I looked over, because every now and again you have to check, and she beckoned me over, like, come here. And I went over, she said, there's somebody sitting at your table, shall I have them moved? I said, no, that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Honestly. She said, just because she knows that I'd paid for that table, and somebody went and sat there. Now, I felt really safe, and I'm in the middle of Lisbon. Like, this is out of my comfort zone. And it was absolutely beautiful. And you respected this lady's home. You daren't not. Otherwise, they'd have got you by the scruffy of the neck, and you would have been out. It was really lovely, very intimidating, but very, very, very nice.
That's funny you say it, because that is something that I would imagine that I'm very strict on. If somebody has booked a table at an event that I've run, nobody else sits there unless that person says they can sit there, because they've paid for that table. And I remember a long time ago, actually it was down here in Portsmouth, I'd booked a table at a salsa event, and everybody came and started putting their drinks on my table. So I just picked them all up and was just putting them on random tables. And this lady got quite irate with me. I said, no, I'm sorry, I paid for this table. I said, if you want to share it, you ask me.
Yeah.
And I probably would have said yes, because I mean, it's a table. I just wanted somewhere to make sure I could put my stuff and my drink while I was dancing. She got quite rude. She was very rude, to be fair. And everybody else who lost their drinks, because nobody knew which drink was which. But I was like, no, I paid for this table. Respect is a huge thing, and it's a huge thing in a lot of cultures. Is just respect everybody. And you respect the host because you're at their house, or that you're at their event.
Very much so. And you're supporting them as well. I mean, we did have to buy a huge bottle of rum. Huge.
Oh, shame.
Well, there's only two of us, and we was getting our flight the next morning, and you only get like 3 little cans of Coke and a bowl of nuts. But we was keeping the event going, because it's a great event, and without our money doing that, then the night wouldn't stay like it is. So it's a give and take thing, isn't it? So we was helping with the business, and she was helping us with a table, somewhere to sit, keeping us safe, keeping an eye on us, especially being two girls as well. It's again, it's
that's nice to
it
know
was
that
lovely.
you felt that safe there. I mean,
Really lovely.
I mean, it always is really difficult for people to feel safe in a venue, especially somewhere where you don't know, and abroad when you don't speak the language as well.
Yeah.
Must be, you
Yeah,
know,
I felt like a what's the word? I can't think of the word that I felt like I was like I can't think of the words at the moment, but wanted to respect her home. I was a visitor. So I was a visitor, and I knew my place. I didn't go in there all, I was going to say bad words. I'm not allowed to swear. No.
no,
I
not live on air,
No,
please.
I didn't go in. I didn't go in there all bolshy like I would go into. But not that I go into the events, the local ones. But
No.
I didn't go in there confident. I went in there as a visitor and respectful.
Yeah, and to me that's not abnormal. If I go anywhere,
No,
I'm
yeah.
a visitor in that place, unless it's
Mm.
obviously my house.
It was nice that it was reciprocated as well.
Yeah, so Don's come on, Don Rose. At events where you have to show ID, it isn't that the opportunity to filter known offenders. I don't know how it works. I just thought that was the whole point. And I'm not 100% Don. I'm not sure, but yes, it will flag up. It helps them identify you at the end of the night if there was an issue.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it flags up any other information about any criminal record that person might have. And we have to be mindful that just because someone has a criminal record doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Yeah.
That they may have served their time, they may have cleared all of that. But yes, I think it's mainly to flag up if there's an issue during the night and you need to be identified. Then they have your picture and they have your information.
I think it's also for fire risks as well, isn't it? If there was a fire, God forbid, that they would be accountable for everybody.
Yes, and and that's really important. We've had somebody say ID is only taken for retrospective needs. Don says, again, clean toilets. It's seriously neglected, disrespectful to us as customers. I've got to admit, most venues that I go to, I wear they're not dance shoes, but they're shoes with a suede bottom. I've put suede sole on. I will go to the loo at the beginning of the night before I put my shoes on, and then I will only go again at the end of the night after I've taken my shoes off, because I don't know what is on the floor by the time I get there at 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I absolutely agree that some places clubs used to have toilet attendants. I think they used to be called back in the day. You don't see that, I suppose, because again, that's another expense for
the
venue.
You sound about ID in that. There's only one place that I know. Let me think. There's only one place that I know of that does take ID when you go in. And also you'll never. Sorry, darling.
El Grande does. You
Oh,
can't
do they?
you can't get into Scala without a
okay.
ID.
I know Temple used to, but they've shut down now. And I know the regular one that we always go to. As long as you're not there, if you get there early, you don't have to have they're not there for your ID. But also nowhere, the only place that I know that does a body search and a bag search as well is one place that I go to. And they will literally body search you and search your bag.
Oh, El Grande, you get the whole lot. I've had my chewing gum confiscated. I've had my perfume confiscated, so I can't spray it in somebody's face. There was a time, I think, where people were spraying and using a lighter. Not at El Grande, I have to say, not at Scala, but within London, there was a couple where people were literally using their body sprays as blow torches. So they were getting confiscated at one stage. So they will check you for chewing gum, check you for drinks. check you for, oh, you have like the little scanner thing that goes out and goes beep, 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 beep. They check my bag, even though, you know, they know me and they know that I teach there or I have taught there and I'm on the guest list. I still get a full search bag. So I have to think, oh, what have I got in my bag? Please don't let it be anything embarrassing. Yes, but they will, and that makes me feel safer that somebody hasn't come into the venue with something that maybe they shouldn't be carrying, because people are people. Yeah,
I got caught out at a weekender. I was there all weekend, and I was very friendly with all the security, no problem at all. And the queue was so big at the bar, I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll just chance my luck. I'll just see if I can sneak in my hip flask. And honestly, sod's law, when I got to the bottom of the stairs to go into the venue, I'd been there all night. I'd just come out, went back in again. She said, can you just have a look at your bag? I said, yeah, of course. I thought, oh no. And it wasn't in my shoe bag, it was in a little makeup bag. She said, what's this in here? And there it was. There was my little hip flask, and it taught me, and I was highly embarrassed.
Wow.
But little did she know, everybody was going all around the back of the staircase up in the lift, and you could come straight into the venue through the back staircase because it was in a hotel.
Okay. So I mean, some places only have one. Yes, I think I would feel safer if bags were searched, if people got at least a cursory pat down before they came in. It's not anything invasive. It's just, have you got something on you that maybe you shouldn't? And we've got Dawn saying that, or Daybreak saying, and CCTV doesn't work or it's absent in many events, which promoters need to work on to help people be safe. And I think that's a good idea, because how can you, if you're in an event, you might not necessarily know someone's name, but you know what they look like. And unless you want to trawl through all of social media, you might never find them. But if there's workings, we all know how that, you know, supports people in all sorts of crimes. Another comment: the problem with many venues are in schools and halls, and licensing laws are different if you attend a licensed premises. The promoters, however, should be looking for the risks of all kinds, irrespective of the venue instruction. And yeah, I think that's, you know, a really good point. Some venues bring their own alcohol to an event because it's in a school or it's in a hall or something somewhere, or they own the venue, and because it makes them more money, you know, than going to somewhere that has a bar and you have to pay, you know, normal prices. And I understand that if this is your living, but you have to take on the responsibility that goes with that. And that is ensuring that your staff know that they don't serve people till they're falling down drunk, which is difficult because if their friends are buying them drinks, you can't, you know. Way back in the day, I was a barmaid, as we used to be called back then, and that was a difficult thing, that I could say to you, I'm not selling you any more alcohol because it's illegal for me to sell you alcohol when you're drunk, but if your mate's buying it for you, I'm not going to know.
Did you see there was a guy removed on Friday from the event that we go to? I saw him being removed by security
because he was
very drunk, and I never saw him all night.
He bumped into me twice, and I was about to go to security and say, look, you need to keep an eye on him, when because I'm like hyper vigilant. That's part of who I am. And somebody else had said, and they went and removed him. But the second time he bumped me, I was like, I'm not putting it, that was harder than the first time, so I need to do something. And it's not easy to go to security and say, look, that guy over there's been bumping me, or that guy, but they would much rather have a word with somebody to, you know, cool it down a bit, or we'll have to remove you. You know, it's, and I get promoters need the money because they're putting on an expensive event, but what's more important? Do you want people to keep coming back?
Yeah.
Or do you want them to say, actually, I'm never going there again, I've had beer down my back, or, you know, whatever.
Like I said, we do talk, don't we?
Do we?
Yeah.
I think that's why there were no men here tonight, because they're panicking that we're going to say something about them.
No.
And we all have to be not just the men. We all need to be mindful that our behaviour is watched by other people. So make it above reproach. Why would we disrespect ourselves
Mm.
and have other people then be able to make comments about it? If you've done nothing wrong, what are you worrying about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right attitude. Yeah, we all have a responsibility to ourselves to keep ourselves safe, but we also need to be able to rely on organisers and promoters within any within any venue to keep us safe, and that includes the bar staff. And I have to say, the venue I go to, the bar staff are always watching out for me. Apparently.
Yeah, no, I think we are lucky with the promoter. We are, like I said at the beginning, we are lucky with them. They do a pretty good job. I mean, I wouldn't even know, Andrea. It's different for you because you've done this. I wouldn't even know. Years ago, I thought about having an event, and it was gonna be dancing on the beach, because there's an area near where I live called High Beach. It's a forest area, and I think it was kind of lockdown time, and I thought, oh, it'd be out in the open, it'd be really great. Well, it absolutely snowballed. There was a lot of people coming, and I started to have the forestry people getting in touch with me. Have you got a license? You can't bathe animals in the stream. I thought, what on earth do they think we're doing? You can't. Are you going to have public toilets? Are you going to have security? And in the end, I had to say, I'm too scared. I can't do this. And it would have just been out in the open, couple of speakers, and that would have been it. And I know the dance community are most of them are respectful, like we would only leave footprints and take memories, hopefully. But I had to stop it. There was a lot of people
There's a
going.
lot of responsibility. When I started organising events, I had to get insurance as a teacher, so that if anybody injured me in my class, even though I may have done all the right things, I was insured in case, they decided to sue me. So that there's a lot of things you have to think about. We wanted to do an event in Chichester. I did a Rueda, and it was like a flash mob Rueda thing, and I had to get permission from the Chichester and Arran Borough Council to be able to play my music, to be able to dance there. So yes, there's an awful lot. You can't just, England's one of those places where you can't just do something.
I
There's
never
a lot done.
realised, honestly, I
Oh,
really didn't. And especially when they said, "Will there be any food?" I said, "Well, maybe a few sausage rolls. I don't know." And that was again that was another license. And I actually did go to try and get a license, but I was declined.
where? Huh?
No, no shock there, really, was there?
But it's the same. We wanted to do a barbecue. There's a country park near where I live, and yes, we had to get a music license. We had to get this license and then that license. I knew all of that before I even started thinking about it. And all these people, yeah, we'll just go up there and have a party. I said, you can't just go up there and have a party. I said, you have to go somewhere completely off grid if you want to do it. This is why these raves and things used to happen in silence.
Imagine that, an illegal Kizomba party.
I think there were a few of those going on during lockdown, to be fair.
Wow. Are any of them legal now anyway? Let's not go down that road.
I couldn't possibly comment because I have no legal training. I can't give any legal advice. It sounds like I'm at work.
No.
I can't give you any financial advice. But yes, the thing is, I think people are moving into areas that maybe are not their day jobs. And not realizing that actually, if you'd had your party, did you have insurance so that if somebody had hurt themselves, could they sue you for negligence? There's all these sorts of things that not everybody takes into account. You hear of a one-off event run by a group of youngsters and stuff, and I think, well, has the venue got a license? You know, does the venue got a fire safety certificate? Have they got a food hygiene certificate? You guys are just going to some random club somewhere. Is it safe? There's one place that I went to dance, and they have like a mezzanine floor, and everybody was up on the mezzanine floor, and it started moving. I was down, those bag, shoes, everything, I was gone, because there was probably a weight limit to that floor and nobody was adhering to it. And I was like, I am way older than a lot of people, and there was a horrendous incident in a house in Reading, near where I used to live, where the floors all just gave way because so many people were at the party. It's terrified me ever since. The minute the floor started going, I was like, I'm out, I'm gone. That was just too much for me. So do people take that into account? Do, you know, I always wonder if venues have an upper limit of people, because as much as you need the money, and it's nice to have that finance coming across your door, if you've got a limit of 300 people, why are you allowing 400 in? You know, I don't know. Have you ever organised an event, Gabby?
No, funny enough that you're mentioning it now. I am organising my first event in a few weeks' time. That is a salsa event. It's not a kizomba event in Sussex, and
let me know.
No, thank you. I will do. I find it quite complex, although it's basically in a restaurant bar, so they have their own insurance, and they're gonna provide their own license, so we don't have to worry about that, because they already have that. But things like that can catch you out, because if it's your first experience, you don't really think about those things, which actually should be the first things you think about. Is not just about the leaflet, the marketing, trying to let people know about the event, and try to invite people over, try to make sure you got the right number, so you get everyone like engaged in the event. So yes, I'll soon find out.
Just let me know when it's on. Because it's not easy, and we should all be supporting rather than all. There's a lot of infighting, I think, between organisers, and there's a lot of. I used to run a really successful night in Portsmouth a long time ago that had Cuban salsa and bachata, and then kizomba as well. And there was a lot of infighting, and I'd said to the bachata teacher, and I'd said to the salsa teacher, and I'd said to everybody, come to, you know, let's you know, come together at this one event once a month, so that everybody, you know, can experience all the dances, and that will promote all the different classes within Portsmouth, because there's a finite number of people who can come to your event. They wanted to hold on to their students and not have them crossing over, and not have them the fear of going to another class and not coming to their class. And I kind of understand it, but I also think that caused a split in the community, and eventually there was a lot of infighting, and somebody wanted that venue, and they did backstabbing, got my event cancelled. I've never spoken to that person again. But they don't hold an event there now. And I'm like, really? Was it really worth it? Because the community lost a really good venue to dance in, you know, and a good event once a month for everyone to come together. But that's what you chose. So I think that happens a lot. There's always talk about collaboration. It doesn't happen, because everybody wants to keep their piece of the action.
Gabby, if you need someone to come and keep the toilet clean, so I won't be dancing salsa.
Why not? It's really
Thank
good
you.
fun. I
Yeah,
love
no, it's
it.
fine.
Is it Cuban or crossbody, Gabby?
It's Cuban.
Oh, well, that's fine. We'll allow that. But yeah, so collaboration is really, and there is a finite number of dancers out there, and it would be nice if everybody could put aside their ego.
Mm-hmm.
I know egos are really hard, and some people's id is bigger than their ego, and they just need to, because it benefits the dance community. Cooperate.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
And it would further people dancing, because I'm sure that it's fallen off since 2020.
Yeah,
and
indeed.
Trying to get people back dancing and back enjoying a social evening out, it's hard to do. So if you could, not that I'm keen on SBK events, to be fair, but yeah, it would be nice to have more collab. I can't even say that word now.
Collaboration.
Yeah, to have that it would just be nicer. But once you start to become an organizer and a promoter and a teacher, you're aware of all this backstabbing that goes on. Everybody's very nice to everybody on social media and to their face, but actually the stuff that you hear behind the scenes would make your hair curl. I'm not gonna say anything, because it's not fair. The people aren't here to defend themselves, and it's not fair to do that. I could say anything about anybody. I wouldn't, because that's not who I am. But it's only fair that they're here. But if you're going to organise something, and that's anything, whether it's a night out, whether it's a show, on Facebook, whether it's a radio show, whatever it is, you need communication, and you need honesty, and you need to put your ego aside and do what's best for the show, what's best for the community. That's my feeling. I don't know whether it works.
Wasn't it Soul David that was saying about everybody kind of getting together round a table one day to discuss everything? And wouldn't that would be too perfect? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
The Greek gods couldn't do it.
Just ignore what I said then. Just rewind it.
No, but it would, in an ideal world, it would be really good if everybody could come together for the good of the community.
Do you imagine what a party it would be? It would be great.
I'll bring the rum.
Oh, I'll clean the toilets.
Gabby, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll just
Gabby, sort out the parking.
Yeah, you can sort out the parking for us. But yeah, it would be lovely if everybody could get together, but everybody wants to run their event their way without anybody else being involved. And I kind of understand that. If that's what you've set your heart on doing, you don't want anybody else interfering with what you've done. But it's gone 10 o'clock. I think we should end tonight. It's been emotional. A different night.
Yes.
I hope everybody who's been watching, thank you again to Super Dixon for his support that he's shown for the last couple of days, when we're deciding whether to continue the show or not tonight. So thank you, Dixon, for that support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma, for coming on, and thank you, Gabby, for coming on and sharing your views with us. Thank you to everybody who's been watching, and for those who've made comments. It really does help the show move along when you do that. We will, obviously, when the next show is on, it'll be on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all social media, if I can remember how to do all of that. But thank you all so much for coming on and for being part of the show. And we will be back soon.
Vocês as baixinhas são assim porque não me aperta com força, tipo que me me bater. Tá me puxando um canto, eu tô obedecer. Tô tipo uma criança, não sei o que fazer. Vou rasgar a mão